Hey, this is Rick Casalage, injury specialist from exercisesforinjuries.com. In today's video, I wanted to go through 5 effective knee strengthening exercises. And Jenna's going to go through each of them and I'll kind of talk about the details of each of the exercises. So starting off with number 1, what number 1 is rolling out the quads. So you've got a foam roller, you've got it just above the knee, you're going to roll through up to the hip. Good, and then roll back through. Good. Okay, you got the full foam roller. You adjust the foam roller just above the knees. You're going to roll throughout the quads up to the hips, and then you're going to roll back. Now when it comes to this one, sets, reps, time, and intensity, the sets are 1, repetitions would be 5, and a repetition is up the thigh and down the thigh. Time, smooth controlled movement with a good stop at the end position. And the intensity could be light to moderate depending on how tight you are in the quads. Now with this one, we start off with a foam rolling exercise, which is a self-massage exercise, and also helping with trigger points. So it's not a typical exercise that people think about when it relates to knee strengthening. But what we're doing is we're decreasing the tension and any trigger points within the quads with this exercise, and by doing so, it'll help improve your knee strength. Okay, now moving on to the second exercise. It is a standing hamstring curl. Okay, good. So kind of going with the starting positions. So you're in standing, you're going to place your hand up against the wall or something sturdy so we remove balance, remove balance, and so that you can focus on strengthening the hamstring. So Jenna's going to stand on one leg, bring the heel towards the seat, and really target the hamstring muscle, and coming back down. Now if you want to increase the intensity with this one, you can do so by adding ankle weights, also by adding resistive tubing looped around the ankle. That'll make the exercise more challenging. Now when it comes to sets, reps, time, and intensity, for this exercise, sets are 1, repetitions will be 10 on each side, time, smooth controlled movement with a good contraction at the end position of the movement, and the intensity really depends on how much resistance you have. If it's range of motion like this, it'll be light. If you start bringing in the ankle weights or the resistive tubing, especially the resistive tubing, it'll be a lot higher, moving to the moderate side of things. Now, a lot of times when it relates to knee strengthening exercises, everyone focuses on the quads or the front of the knee. Now with this one, we're focusing on the back of the knee or hamstring area, which is an important muscle when it relates to strengthening your knee. Now moving on to the third exercise, looking at heel raises. So very similar setup as the exercise before. You're in standing, nice and upright. You're going to place the hand up against the wall, and then you're going to move onto your toes, and then back down, and then again onto your toes. Now with this one as well, if you want to make it more challenging, you can go from double leg, as Jenna was demonstrating. You can move on to a single leg to make it more challenging, so you have more of your body weight. And then another way of making it even more challenging is by adding external load. So you can add a dumbbell or a barbell or a plate to make it more challenging, the exercise. Now looking at the sets, reps, time, and intensity. For this one, sets would be 1, repetitions would be 10 on each side. Time, smooth controlled movement with a good contraction at the top. And looking at the intensity really depends on how much load that you bring into the exercise. So bilateral might not be that bad. Unilateral or single leg would be more challenging, and then even adding external resistance would make it even more challenging. Now with this exercise, it's very similar to the one before. A lot of times people will just think about the knee, the muscles around the knee or quadriceps when it relates to strengthening, like knee strengthening. But with this one, we're working on the calf, which connects to the back of the knee. So it being strong, it ends up assisting and being important when it relates to knee strength. Okay, now moving on to the fourth one. So with this one, this is wall slide with ball. So depending on what type of wall you have, this one's a rough wall, so we're going to use a foam roller to help Jenna move up and down the wall. And then you have a ball like this, just to assist when it relates to separating the knees, providing guidance for the knees, and a little bit of resistance when it comes to bringing the knees together. Good. Good. So Jenna, so I'll get you to do a couple repetitions and we'll kind of go through the details. Okay, good. So you're up against the wall. You have the full foam roller, in your lower back. You have the ball between the knees. Your legs are underneath your hips. You're pressing up against the ball, and then going from the starting position, coming back down. You want to try to go toward the ankle, knee, and the hips, or 90 or just a little bit less than 90, and then coming back to that top position, going to where the legs are straight, and then back down. Good, and back up. Good. So with this one, looking at the sets, reps, time, and intensity, sets are 1, repetitions are 10, time, smooth controlled movement with a little bit of a stop at the bottom position, and then really working, utilizing your glutes, your hamstrings, and your quads to get you out of that bottom position. Looking at the intensity will depend upon how strong you are within the knees and the glutes. If it is light for you to do, you can move from a bilateral, as Jenna demonstrated. You can move to a single leg, and then once again you can add external resistance, so dumbbells or plates to make it more challenging. Now with this one, with the feet being so further forward, we're targeting a lot of the glutes and the hamstrings, so not a lot when it comes around the muscles around the knee, but all of those glutes and hamstrings and the muscles around the knee play a role when it relates to knee strengthening. Now moving on to the 5th and final one. Okay, looking at the clamshell exercise. So I'll get you to one more repetition. Okay, good. Looking at the starting position. So you're lying on your side, arms overhead, your head's resting on that arm. Your legs are straight, then you're going to bend, and then you're lying on your side, and then you're going to separate the knees. Good. And then back together, and you're really focusing on the glute area, separating the knees. Good. Perfect. So with this one, we're working on glute medius, so it's a muscle within the hip. And as you can see with the exercise that we've gone through, having strong muscles above and below the knee is important when it relates to knee strengthening. Now with this one, looking at the sets, reps, time, and intensity, sets are 1, repetitions, I would start off with 5, but progress on to 10. Time, smooth controlled movement with a good stop at the end position and a good contraction of the glute medius at the top. And looking at the intensity, with this one, it'll usually be light because you're really focusing more on activation, endurance, and strength of that glute medius muscle. So there you go. There's 5 effective knee strengthening exercises. Give those exercises a go. Now, if you are suffering from knee pain and want some of my best tips and tricks when it relates to overcoming knee pain, what I recommend you do is click right here. I have a brand new free report called 5 Tips That Fight Knee Pain and Tightness. Just click right here. Let me know where to send you that report, and I will send you that report right away. Now, if you're watching this on a mobile device, tablet, smartphone, head down below in the description and click the first link, which will be exercisesforinjuries.com/knees. Let me know where to send you that report, and I'll send you the report right away. Now, if you got benefit from this video, make sure to like this video. If you have a question or comment for me, leave it down below in the comments section. And lastly, hit subscribe to get future pain relieving videos.